Good morning. My name is Jean Patterson, and I'm a member of this congregation, and it's my pleasure to welcome you this morning to All Souls Unitarian Universalist Church. Well, things look a bit different this morning, don't they? It is the beginning of fall, and we've got a new look for today. But I'm glad you're all with us. We like to begin by welcoming any guests or visitors who are here. So if you're a visitor or if you brought a guest, please stand and tell us your name and where you're from. Yes.
This is my friend Jeannie visiting this morning.
And where are you from, Jeannie? In Independence, okay. Glad you're with us. Others? Well, yes, Jane.
Two of my beautiful granddaughters are here this morning, Audrey and Emily Gilbreth, who grew up in this church.
Welcome, beautiful granddaughters. Anyone else? Well, Anthony has a guest that he would like to introduce to us today.
Good morning. I'm Anthony Edwards. I'm the music director here at All Souls, and I'm so happy to be back with you. And I've been here all summer, but I don't know where y'all been. But we're so excited to be back, and I'm so excited to have this beautiful choir back after their summer break. And we have a couple of extra folks that decided to join our pop-up choir today. And we also have a new addition to our choir. Darrington Clark is our new bass section leader. So help me welcome Darrington. Darrington will be soloing with the choir today on our music. So welcome this morning.
Great to have everybody here.
In the ever-shifting water of the river of this life, I was swimming, seeking comfort. I was wrestling waves to find a boulder I could cling to, a stone to hold me fast, where I might let the fretful water of this river round me pass. And so I found an anchor, a blessed resting place, a trusty rock I called my Savior, for there I would be safe from the river and its dangers, and I proclaimed my rock divine, and I prayed to it, protect me, and the rock replied, God is a river, just a stone. God is a wild raging rapid and a slow meandering flow. God is a deep and narrow passage and a peaceful sandy shore. God is a river swimmer, so let go. Still I clung to my rock tightly, with conviction in my arms, never looking at the stream to keep my mind from thoughts of harm. But the river kept on coming, kept on tugging at my legs, till at last my fingers faltered and I was swept away. So I'm going with the flow now, these relentless twists and bends, acclimating to the motion and a sense of being led. And this river's like my body now, it carries me along through the ever-changing scenes and by the rocks that sing this song. God is a river, not just a stone. God is a wild, raging rapid and a slow, meandering flow. God is a deep and narrow passage and a peaceful, sandy shoal. God is the river swimmer, so let go. God is the river swimmer. So let go.
And welcome to our annual end of summer ingathering service here at All Souls. Today, many of us have brought with us a bit of water from the places that have been meaningful to us this summer season. In a few moments, we will bring those various waters together as an act of reuniting our community for a new season of building, inspiration, and creativity. It was at a conference of white women when this ceremonial gathering of waters first came to pass.
White women in a second wave of gender self-awareness, awakening, connecting, making new meaning, shifting the old systems.
The solidarity of these women was reflected in the waters each brought, symbol of their home grounds, waters that became a liquid harmony of each sweet voice, intention, and presence.
Today, we gather as a community of humans in a new wave of gender and racial awareness, awakening, connecting, making new meaning, shifting the old systems.
Today, we seek more than solidarity and harmony.
We seek inclusion, even at the cost of discomfort.
We seek mutuality in the dismantling of privilege.
We seek reconciliation, even when that means remembered suffering.
We seek justice for all people.
Today, may our gathering of the waters reflect the gathering of our collective courage in service to the grace and love that is promised by our liberal faith.
We light this chalice as a symbol of reunion.
We reunite in this sanctuary to share the flow of our days with one another.
We gather together in ritual to celebrate our fountains of joy,
to guide one another through rapids of transformation,
to hold each other through storms of grief,
to rest together on the still waters of reflection.
Together we honor the spirit of water, its many forms, its life-giving essence, as a symbol of our gathering here and the lives we share.
Good morning, my name is Ginny, and I light this chalice for respect of the interdependent web of all existence which we are a part of.
Thank you. Now let's rise and join in our opening hymn. As we gather today, one special occasion for thanks arises. Alan and Sarah Barlow have been members and supporters of this congregation for many years. Their daughters, Greer and Lily, have grown to young adulthood among us. Alan and Sarah each taught in the religious education program and each served as a member of the RE team. Alan traveled as a chaperone for one of the coming-of-age trips to Boston. Sarah is a second-generation member of All Souls, and she has been a thoughtful and valued member of the Committee on Ministry, as well as a reliable organizer of the Sunday morning coordinators. She has made sure we have fuel to light the chalice, water for the speaker, and dozens of other details that help our services to flow smoothly. Alan has been one of our volunteer sound techs for years through generations of different systems, both on Sunday morning and for memorial services and other events. Both Sarah and Alan gave generous time to help staff our emergency warming center last winter. Their many contributions to our community's life have been quiet and steadfast, and they have made a difference. Alan and Sarah, could you join me here for a moment? You don't have to say anything, I promise. Now that they have both retired and downsized from their family home, the Barlows are about to set off on a nomadic adventure of cross-country travels to follow wherever inspiration takes them for as long as their wanderlust lasts. Sarah, Alan, your friends here at All Souls will miss you, of course, but we send you forth with our grateful thanks for your many contributions, and we offer you this tiny chalice to go with you on your journey to remind you of your spirit's home here. And with these words of blessing from the great Unitarian poet Walt Whitman, whoever you are, come forth. You must not stay sleeping and dallying there in the house, though you built it, or though it has been built for you. Forward to that which is endless as it was beginningless, to look up or down no road, however long, but it stretches and waits for you. Free and lighthearted may you take to the open road. Strong and content may you travel the open road. And may you have amazing and beautiful adventures until we see you again. Will you join me in thanking the Barlows? I hope it's fabulous. We love you. We love you both. Cheryl. Good.
Good morning. My name is Cheryl Westra, and I am one of the members of your Board of Trustees. And I just lost what I was going to say. I love technology. My family first came to All Souls seeking a multi-age community and a religious education foundation for our then 3-year-old. But we found so much more. Our family grew to include 3 more children, and as they grew and our needs changed, we continued to find offerings that fit those needs here. Now, as a parent of young adults, my needs have changed again, and they will continue to change as I age. Yet I'm comforted in the knowledge that All Souls will serve me through these changes, providing me with thought-provoking sermons and dialogues, social justice opportunities, and a warm, multi-age community. All Souls challenges me to be my better self, no matter what stage of life I'm at. That is why I support All Souls financially. Today's offering is for the All Souls General Fund to support those programs that support us. The offering will now be given and received.
Trying to build community, but life gets in between. Did we share or did we care? And who we should have been? Hold back the river, let me look in your eyes. Hold back the river so I can stop for a minute and be by your side. Hold back the river, hold back. To build a better world and life, we write our dreams upon the sky. And when we're caught against the tide, the precious days go flashing by. Hold back the river, let me look in your eyes. Hold back the river so I can stop for a minute and be by your side. Hold back the river, hold back. Hold Hold back the river, let me look in your eyes. Hold back the river so I can stop for a minute and be by your side. Hold back the river, hold back. Oh, 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 oh. Lonely water, won't you let us wander? Let us hold each other. Lonely water, won't you let us wander? Let us hold each other. Hold back the river, let me look in your eyes. Hold back the river so I can stop for a minute and be by your side. Hold back the river, hold back the river, let me look in your eyes. Hold back the river so I can stop for a minute and be by your side. Hold back the river, hold back. Lonely water, won't you let us wander? Let us hold each other. Lonely water, won't you let us wander? Let us hold each other. Ooh, ooh, ooh,
Will you join me now in the words of dedication for our offering? We dedicate our offerings and our actions to the mission at the heart of this congregation, to build a respectful, caring community, to inspire personal and spiritual growth, and to create change toward a just and compassionate society.
A glass of tea sweats a circle of droplets on an old table. Drying, they pull dirt and stain from the wood, leaving a ring. Water makes its mark.
Deep in the earth, in a cave, a drop falls slowly, each minute, and where it lands, a great pillar of white stalagmite has grown up. Water makes its mark.
On the surface above, a small creek ripples and flows, carving out a path in the granite of its stream bed. Water makes its mark.
On a sandy beach, lines of dry seaweed and tossed shells show the reach of high tide. Water makes its mark.
In the network of veins, the blood, salty like the seawater from which we sprang, flows on in cycles, sustaining life. Water makes its mark.
The dark clouds appear and storms follow. Floods obliterate the work of human hands, and death follows. Water makes its mark.
A space probe turns its camera toward planet Earth, colored the pale blues of ocean. Water makes its mark.
A solitary tear slides down the cheek, a tear of full-hearted joy, a tear of fathomless grief. Water makes its mark.
As drops of rain that find each other and build to become a track, a rivulet, a stream, a river, a sea.
So are we drawn together. So are we fortunate to find each other.
So are we bound together on the shared journey toward an unknown ocean and eternity.
Water makes its mark on the planet and on us. On this day of ingathering, we are invited to bring water from a place or a moment that has been meaningful to us this summer season. Perhaps it is from the hose in your garden, which gave a bounty of enormous bell peppers. Perhaps it is from a once-in-a-lifetime far-away voyage. Perhaps it is from your grandchild's first ever kiddie pool. Perhaps it is from a hospital room, your own or a loved one's. Perhaps it is from a college dorm room or a retirement party or the water they handed out at the protest march. Perhaps it is from the river where you helped to scatter a dear friend's ashes. Perhaps it is from your family's summer cabin, or your new home, or your annual road trip. First times, last times, emergencies, and routines. Life holds them all, just as rivers run all to the sea. We invite you now to reflect for a moment and then bring your water to one of our 4 fountains. The one here up front with the shining lights is for joyful moments and new beginnings, the excitement of good news, the hopes of a next chapter starting to unfold. The green fountain with the flowers is for growth and connections, that fruitful garden, reunions with families and friends, learnings and accomplishments. The vessel of stones and shells back by the door is for tears, for difficulties, challenges, sadness, an illness or surgery, struggles or loss in relationships, the rage and despair of living in these times. The fountain with the candles is for endings, remembering, letting go, moving out of a beloved home, saying goodbye to a school or a job, completing a long-term project, sending a child to college or first grade. Of course, the same event or place may have a different significance for different people, and there are no wrong fountains. The reader or liturgist at each has a blessing to offer you after you have shared your water, if you choose to receive it. You may come as individuals, or a family may come all together. You might want to share some of your water at more than one fountain. Remember also that each has a carafe of magic water that is from wherever you say it is. We have never tried exactly this type of ritual before, so we are counting on all of you to help us figure out how best to make it work. So take a moment now to breathe into the music and let your inner wisdom guide your choice. When you are ready, come and let your water flow together with the river of beloved community here.
bathe us in forgiveness, wake us to the power, wash us in the mystery of ocean, stream, and shower. Bathe us in forgiveness, wake us to the power, wash us in the mystery of ocean, stream, and shower. Waters make us new. Holy waters make us whole. Holy waters make us free. Holy waters make us one. Make us one. Make us one.
Blessed are those who thirst for righteousness, said a wise teacher once. It feels like the dangerous thirst of the desert in our world these days, this yearning for what is just and true and decent. Like soil too long without rain, our common life hardens and cracks, no longer nourishing. Even where an excess of actual water turns deadly in storms and floods, still the Spirit thirsts for one drop of mercy to fall upon the earth and comfort those who suffer and grieve. But remember this, in its smallest forms, water is insubstantial, a vapor, a single snowflake, the morning dew, one drop of rain. These tiny fragments soon vanish, unsatisfying, taunting our thirst. It can feel that way in the work of equity and compassion as well. One hesitant act of resistance, a single truth maintained in the face of falsehood, a gesture of solidarity, one more letter of protest, another donation, a decision not to buy from those who pollute or abuse. What power does such a little thing really have? Yet when waters come together, as we see today, they become mighty. They become abundant, slaking our thirst, creating the beauty of fountains and the endurance of rivers. Paradoxically, justice and compassion depend on each of us, although they will never be brought about by any of us alone. That is why we come together, moment by moment, week by week, to enlighten our minds and inspire our hearts as fellow pilgrims on this journey. Never be ashamed to admit that you are still thirsty, to call for better justice and greater compassion in this world. It is a holy thirst. Never be embarrassed to do the thing that you can do, however little you may think it is. It is holy work. Do not refuse to learn a new truth, to try a different strategy, to join your voice with others and make the halls of power hear you. Blessed are those who are thirsty for righteousness, said the rabbi, for they shall be satisfied. Thinking perhaps of the ancient prophet who once spoke God's demand that justice should roll down like a mighty river and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream. Or the poet Denise Levertov puts it this way: don't say there is no water to solace the dryness at our hearts. I have seen the fountain springing out of the rock wall, and you drinking there. And I too, before your eyes, found footholds and climbed to drink that cool water. The woman of that place, shading her eyes, frowned as she watched, but not because she grudged the water, only because she was waiting to see that we drank our fill and were refreshed. Don't say there is no water. That fountain is there among its scalloped green and gray stones. It is still there and always there, with its quiet song and strange power to spring in us up and out through the rock. The water we have gathered here today is sacred. It is made sacred by the many hands that have poured it with intention and love, the many stories that each drop contains, the many lives surrounding it in this unique moment, connected by commitment and faith. The place to which we bring our individual sorrows and joys, connections and partings, is also sacred. It is made sacred by the time that we set aside to be together, by our shared hunger for meaning and for thirst for justice, by the tenderness with which we receive one another, and the courage of our dreams. As our liturgists now bring water from these four dimensions to our central fountain, I invite us all to respond to each with the words of blessing that will appear on the screen.
I bring water from the fountain of new hope and rejoicing.
And we respond, blessed be our joy. This place is made sacred by our presence together. Here let us find gladness and courage for new beginnings.
I bring water from the fountain of connection and growth.
Blessed be our growing. This place is made sacred by our presence together. Here let us find inspiration and connection in the energy of unfolding life.
I bring water from the fountain of challenges and sadness.
Blessed be our sorrows.
This place is made sacred by our presence together. Here let us find strength and comfort
for our inner and outer struggles. I bring water from the fountain of completion and releasing.
Blessed be our endings. This place is made sacred by our presence together. Here let us find serenity and wisdom for the onward passages of life. I now add water saved from our ingathering fountain last year. Blessed be our heritage. This place is made sacred by our presence together. Here let us remember and cherish the legacy of those who came before us. Every authentic community calls us into covenant, spoken or unspoken. Some covenants invite us to separation from others, to feel special and better than. Here in this community, we seek the covenant promises that unite us with all people of goodwill everywhere, celebrating our shared humanity and mutual care. Will you rise now and join me in speaking our covenant and aspiration for the coming year? Goodwill is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Throughout the year to come, let us dwell together not in the false peace of privilege and comfort, but in the difficult peace of right relationships and equity. May we seek not only the truth of our own experience, but also the reality of others' lives, both in suffering and in wisdom. Let us share our strengths and gifts generously, now not only one another, but also an entire planet in need of our care. May we find here the energy and determination to move onward toward community, to listen with attentive hearts and see with wondering eyes, to cherish a world larger than our self-interest and more astonishing than we imagine. May we abide together like the water in an endless cycle of nourishing the life we share. And now let's remain standing for our closing song.
The stream sings it to the river sings it to the sea sings it to the boat that carries you and me. Somos el barco, somos el mar, yo navego en ti, tú navegas en mí.
Was built by many hands, and the sea we are sailing on, it touches many lands.
Somos el barco, somos el mar, yo navego en ti, tú navegas en voyage has been long and hard, and yet we're sailing still, with a song to help us pull together, if we only will. Somos el barco, somos el mar, yo navego en ti, tú navegas en mí. We are the boat, we are the sea, I sail in you sail in me.
So with our hopes we set the sails and face the winds once more. And with our hearts we chart the waters never sailed before. Somos el barco,
somos el mar, yo navego en ti, tú navegas en mí. We are the boat, we are the sea, I sail in you sail in me.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of compassion, or the fires of commitment. For all these we carry in our minds and hearts until we are together again. It starts with a drop and a gathering trickle, then a rush of water, rivers running to the sea. Today we brought water to a shared fountain. Though our experiences have differed, these waters mingle, signifying our common humanity. Now we go forth to our work in the world. But we shall return to this gathering where dry souls are watered, where rivers of tears may be shed, where joys run deep and the cup of community overflows. To this place where our spirits gather to share the voyage of life together. We are made for this, just as surely as rivers run to the sea. Go in peace.